awake to an execution. The timid echo that sleeps in my bones stirs with the first beep of the alarm, asking for 5 more minutes, asking for a gentler day. I drag that echo into the center of thought, press a cold barrel to its temple, and pull. The shot is silent, but the mental recoil jolts my spine awake. Weakness is a parasite. If I spare it, it breeds. So I start every morning with blood on the floor of my mind and gunpowder on my breath. Payne wrote the first chapter of this doctrine. Years ago, the ache was subtle, a hairline fracture behind the sternum. I ignored it, and every compromise acted like a hammer widening the crack. Before long, every inhale scraped bone, and every exhale leaked purpose. Bright screens glowed, promises scrolled, hours evaporated. I equated numb with calm, but numbness hums, and the hum becomes lullaby if you listen too long. One night, the sound crescendoed into a siren only I could hear, pinning me to the mattress, demanding tribute in the currency of regret. Rage erupted like the dam of denial finally burst. It tore through veins as boiling oil scorched complacency and hurled me at the wall. Drywall crumbled beneath my fists. Red mist dotted the air. Among falling powder, I saw him, the anxious curator of excuses, blinking through cowardly eyes. Hatred sharpened my vision to a knife point. Rage is molten clarity. It melts lies and leaves behind a single mandate: eradicate the lesser self. I swore to the ruined plaster that I would never rebuild it. I would level everything soft and start over with stone. But rage is a meteor, brilliant, brief, directionless. To sustain war, I needed law. Discipline became that law. Rage dressed in uniform, rage with a schedule. I chose 4:03 a.m. because the numbers are ugly to pronounce. I stand barefoot on tile, cold enough to bite, drown in water drawn from the mouth of winter, then open a journal already stained with yesterday's confessions. Plans are carved, not written. Iron follows. Every repetition is a verdict. Dense philosophy follows the iron, because mind and muscle must climb together or both will collapse. Days stacked into months until even my rituals weighed tons. One pre-dawn run ended with lungs locking like rusted gates. Asphalt rushed upward. I kissed it with my knees. Snow flirted across overheated skin, hissing into steam. The weak voice rose from the grave, insisting fatigue meant I had gone far enough. That suggestion tasted like poison. I bit through it, spat copper, and clawed upright with gravel embedded in my palms. Pain thundered inside ligaments, but I understood its dialect now. It asked, "Will you die or evolve?" I answered by sprinting again, each footfall hammering cowardice into its coffin. That collapse rewired more than muscle. Something in the mind recalibrated like a compass jarred into true north. Pain evolved into blueprint. It mapped the walls still needing demolition. Rage, once feral, carved channels like lava cooling into unbreakable stone. Discipline ceased to feel like a cage and became a set of wings. Heavy, yes, but capable of lift. I woke the next day expecting exhaustion. Instead, I found a feral calm, the hush of predation. Rebirth wasn't trumpets. It was the quiet click of a new gear engaging, irreversible, propelling everything forward. Now domination saturates the air I breathe. I do not check the corpse of my old self. I use his ashes to season breakfast oats. Meetings, waits, negotiations. They are merely different terrains for the same hunt. Colleagues feel it when I enter the room. A gravity that steals oxygen forged by nights nobody saw. Goals are not pursuits. They are tombstones awaiting inscriptions. I write deadlines like epitaphs. Here lies another limit, and when the date arrives, I bury it and order the headstone polished. Beside the bed rests a war ledger wrapped in cracked leather. Every dawn begins with an entry. Location of target, method of execution, confirmation of kill. One slash of crimson ink marks a sabotaging thought strangled before sunrise. 2 mark a comforting habit throttled at noon. 3 celebrate the suffocation of fear before moonlight. The book is heavy, dense with red tally marks that glue pages together. Sometimes my wrists shake lifting it, reminding me that every tally weighs something. If I quit, the weight stays. If I fight, the pages turn feather light. Night returns and darkness conducts inspection. Under a single bulb, I perform an autopsy on the day. I dissect hesitation with surgical steel honesty. A breath paused during conflict, a sentence softened to spare feelings, a scroll through oblivion. Each specimen is pinned like an insect, labeled with the time of death. I sketch tomorrow's battle plan atop their glass-eyed corpses. Dawn will drag gray knives across the sky, and the gallows will stand waiting. Mirrors will line the arena, because the only spectator allowed is the one who still dares to resist. Landmarks scar the path behind me. The siren night of awakening, the drywall baptism of rage, the asphalt crucible of collapse, the fluorescent 2:07 a.m. where pride tried to blossom like mold on steel. I crushed that bloom with an iron plate and inhaled the spores of its decay. Each landmark is a monument to a failure I refuse to repeat, erected not for nostalgia but as minefields for any remnant of hesitation daring to follow. Pain keeps the record accurate. Rage keeps the edge serrated. Discipline keeps the march measured. Rebirth keeps the horizon moving. Domination keeps the cosmos honest. Every heartbeat is a bullet. Every blink a guillotine drop. I am a perpetual battlefield, treaties unwritten, mercy extinct. Spectators ask about balance. Balance is a playground ornament. I replaced it with a catapult. They warn of burnout. Burnout haunts those who chase applause. I chase the extinction of doubt. My meals taste of determination. My drinks of crystallized refusal. Silence stands guard around my focus like barbed wire soaked in oil. Tonight the city skyline flickers like muzzle flashes beyond the glass. Somewhere elevators carry office victories to rooftop bars, champagne fizzing over mediocrity. A whisper slides under the doorframe, offering rest. I chamber a round of purpose and fire. The whisper dies uneventfully. Ink and smoke share the air while I engrave another kill into the ledger before the page cools. Tomorrow at 4:03, the tribunal of one reconvenes. Judge, jury, executioner, scarred, unblinking, sentence unchanged. Weakness dies or I do. Appeals were denied centuries ago. I do not pursue perfection. Statues crumble. I remain molten, reshaping under pressure, dangerous to touch. That is domination, permanent transformation under ceaseless fire. The ritual is not cruel, it is just. The universe rewards motion and punishes stagnation. I refuse to rot in the waiting room of potential. Momentum is my only prayer, and it is answered with blisters, torn calluses, and a grin carved across determination. I was not born relentless. I built relentless, brick by blood-slick brick atop the carcass of yesterday's compromise. Architects draft with pencils, I draft with scar tissue. Historians record victories, I record executions. Statues fall, graveyards remain. If vestiges of softness bloom in other hearts, let them bask. My crusade is interior, but obstacles that step into my trajectory will drown in stored velocity. Habits silent as garrote wire, resolve dense as collapsing stars. Mercy. That coin was melted down the day pain wrote its opening line. When my final heartbeat arrives, it will interrupt a swing aimed at the last echo of frailty. If judgment waits beyond, let it approach armored and eager. I will greet it as I greet every dawn, with blades drawn and ledger open. Until that hour, the ritual repeats without variance. Every day I kill the weakness in me, and every night the universe expands to contain the echoes of that violence. I do not end, I advance.